indicator is something that you put in, something that you can concretely control. Then a lag indicator is something that is your result or your outcome that you cannot control to quite the same degree. So number of hours that you study, generally speaking, you can control that. Obviously, life can get in the way, but you can concretely determine and track hours per day, hours per week. Number of lessons you complete in the course, you can control that. Number of class sessions you attend like this, you can track that. Tonight we did 2, reading comprehension, now the group coaching mastermind. Number of questions you attempt, you can control that. Outcomes like number of questions you answer correctly, you will obviously try to control that and maximize that number, but there's some ambiguity around how exactly that might play out. Some weeks will be more, some weeks will be less in terms of correct answers. If you try hard questions, you'll get a larger percentage wrong than if you try easy ones on average. So this is a way to keep you focused on the lead over the lag. There are 4 lead indicators here: time invested, concepts, lessons completed, sessions you attend where you connect with me and others, practice questions that you attempt, and then finally lag, the number you get right. That will vary, that will change. I want you to focus more on maximizing input into these first 4 columns: time, concepts, connection, practice. Outcomes, the number correct, may take a while to increase. It may go up, it may go down, it may fluctuate, but over time, the hope is that it will increase. But the numbers in the first 4 columns, that's what you really focus on. What you put in will somewhat indirectly or not, like lead to whatever you might get out. The idea is you track this. If your first 4 columns are low in a particular week, the outcomes column may also be low because generally speaking, what you put in will determine in part what you get out. There's variation, of course, like I said, if you're covering tougher concepts, correct answers may be lower. Covering easier concepts or playing to your strengths, it may be higher. I don't want you to focus that much on the last column. And obviously you can get more nuanced with this. You could say, okay, well, games versus reasoning versus reading comprehension. You can do untimed work versus timed sections versus full-length exams. There's a lot of nuance that is not included in this chart. I don't want this to be the only thing you look at, but this is really meant to more serve as some general inspiration as to how you might track what you're doing a little bit differently than otherwise. Typically, the spreadsheets and charts that I see are focused on, when they say progress tracking, they're focusing on the scores out of 180 or the number correct out of the 25 or so questions per section. They cover the lag only. I rarely, if ever, see the lead indicators covered, those first 4 columns, what you're putting in. So I want to flip it around a little bit, focus more on the lead, what you put in, a little bit less on what you get out. I specifically chose to cover this week because November LSAT is past. None of you are taking the LSAT for about 2 months. You have the time to slow down and focus more on what you're putting in. You don't need to think quite as much about what your results, what your accuracy is coming out for quite a while. Obviously, as January, February, whatever gets closer, you may look more at your time sections in your full-length exams, but you have plenty of time until then to look at other things. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them, and feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.